Okay, so it's January 17th. It's been a couple of weeks at least since I've recorded anything. Got stuff going on, but not a lot really to discuss. It's what is this? This is Wednesday, and it is a little after 4. Just finishing up some property visits, and I've been thinking while I've been out and about. A lot of things going through my mind. Mostly vacation. Coming up in a couple of days now. We leave for our cruise out of Galveston on Sunday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're leaving Saturday sometime in the afternoon to drive down to just outside of, somewhere halfway between probably Houston and Galveston. We've got a hotel, just a cheap Super 8, something to get there so we don't have to worry about any kind of traffic issues that might pop up along the way. So we'll try and get down there the day before. We did that last year too. I liked that better than getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and trying to be on the road by 5 or 6 so that we can make that drive into Galveston. Last year we went the day before, and one whole section of I-10 was closed around Houston. We ended up having to reroute around it, and traffic was all backed up, so ended up being better. I would prefer to have that the day before than the morning of, but so for the last, well, basically the holiday season, which started in November, I've had short weeks. I've had a lot of time off with paid days off from work and personal days that I've taken, and just the holidays and all that. So it's been a very light and low impact couple of months. We're already into January now, and last week probably the only full 5-day week I've worked in weeks, going on months, and I like it. It's been nice. It's given me a lot of time to think about what I want to do in this next year, where I want to take my passion, where I want to move my life, and as much as I want to make hasty, drastic decisions and actions, I've been really keeping myself kind of patient and calm, and a lot of that has been assisted by Rhonda, who has talked me out of making some drastic moves, impulse moves. But this is it. This is we're doing this cruise, and it's time. We're going to start making some drastic changes, or at least I am. And we've been talking about it for several months now, about just liquidating everything and going to New Zealand, and that's I'm really excited about that. But I got to be honest, last month I get bored with ideas quick. So after a period stretch of the imagination. It's just, but it's compared to where we were, it's a huge difference. We were, living as a family of 6 off of less than $40,000 a year. So I mean, that's a huge change. We just filed our taxes for 2017, and we made just over $100,000 between the two of us. So, and honestly, that was kind of my goal, my unwritten, unspoken goal. It just kind of was the number that had popped into my head. I'd like to make $100,000, and that seemed reasonable for a married couple to make that much. And we've done it. We've hit that mark. And along the way, we've really enjoyed some of the benefits of that building. We've definitely been able to engage in the culinary scene in San Antonio. Absolutely love it. We've been able to do a little bit of traveling, partially work trips that were paid for by our employer, and partially by just us. We have started to, just within this last year, I've kind of thrown caution to the wind and have been a little bit reckless. Reckless isn't the best term. It's kind of how I feel sometimes, that it's been reckless, but I've been a little more carefree with our credit. So I've started to feel a little bit of buyer's remorse here in the last couple weeks, a little bit of fear over how far we've extended ourselves now, and I have to keep reminding myself that we're on an upward trajectory, and to continue that, I need to keep that mindset that we are going to continue to build on that. And this speaking and writing career that I want to is the perfect path for that. And I have to keep reminding myself that it's not the norm. You don't. And I talk about this a lot, and have over the last couple years, that pursuing a path that isn't the common path, it's hard to find examples that you can build on, that you can try to replicate. And I've got a writing and speaking coach, and he's done it, and he's helping keep me on track to continue this path. And I continue to keep chipping away at my own book, and 14 chapters, just started chapter 15 over the weekend. 14 chapters complete, and I'm about halfway, and I really thought I would be farther than this, but I work full time, and I have other interests and obligations, commitments that I need to honor, and it's I just don't have as much time. And I know you have time if you make time. But I'm comfortable with it. I'm comfortable with where I've gotten, because I've been able to do it and keep a focus on it and maintain that, because that's one of the things that I have difficulty with is staying on task, especially if that task takes a long period of time, because I lose interest. And my whole life has been like that. And having this writing and speaking coach keeps me on point. Every couple of weeks we talk, and it keeps me engaged in that concept, and it is truly what I want to do. And I feel good about it, and I have to keep reminding myself that I've written this chapter for Joe Fatale's next book. That's done. I've paid the fee for that. I've written it. I've submitted everything it needs to be, and that's coming. It's not. I'm not sure, or maybe it'll come. As much as I am putting focus and emphasis on writing this book of my own, it still hasn't happened yet, and it's easy to forget about that, and it just seems so far away, because there's still work to be done, and there's like so many other huge undertakings that we all engage in, that it's easy to lose sight somewhere along the way and say, all right, well, maybe it's not going to happen, maybe it won't be completed, and it'll be left unfinished. But see it from either one. One, it's easy to go back into the office because I'm not spending that much time there, and it's easier because I'm not there all the time. But it's also difficult because the more time I spend away from the office and the more time I spend engaging in these other ideas and these thoughts of manifesting this different life for myself, the harder it is to go back and deal with trivial things that we deal with on a daily basis in this business. And it's easy for me to get sucked into the mindset of dread, of going into the office and then feeling dread about what could possibly pop up, or even dread about things that have come up. You know, someone that's angry and threatening legal action because they feel like they were wrong. And I'm not going to get into that again. It's part of that business. It really, again, comes down to perception and perspective, and people that feel like they were wronged and feel that they need vindication. And it's not something that I enjoy dealing with, but it's keeping the focus on what I want and not what I don't want. So that's where I've been all day today, is reminding myself, and it's getting easier every day to remind myself and pull myself out of that funk when I feel myself starting to get pulled into that dread and that, like, wow, I just don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do property management. I don't want to do property management. I hate property management. And this is the kind of thing that builds up and builds up and builds up if you don't keep it in check, if you don't identify it and keep it in check. And it's keeping that positive attitude and that positive focus on what you do want. And I do want to continue to write. Every time I sit down at my computer and I'm able to look at my chapter list and I'm able to grab a chapter title and be like, I'm just not sure what I'm going to write about this, and I take Patrick's recommendation, just try and get 50 words. Set a goal for yourself, a small goal, a short goal, an easy goal. 50 words, just put 50 words down about the topic, and all of a sudden, boom, it's rolling, and it just starts gone on, I've gotten more and more comfortable with the idea of leaving. We've got, like I said, cruise coming up in a couple of days, and we're going to be back in about a week. And for me, I have had every intention of leaving, putting in notice and terminating my employment at any time now. I was really just trying to get to the holiday season, get our year-end bonus, our holiday bonus. And after that, I was like, you know what? If I have to leave now, or if I do something to get myself terminated, which I sometimes push those limits, sometimes intentionally, sometimes unintentionally, and then no outright gross misconduct but I do have some passive aggressive actions and even inactions that anyway, not going to get into that. But I've been pretty comfortable and pretty open to the idea that I can go at any time, and it's been nice to continue earning a paycheck, but I really kind of today settled into, well, I think I'm just going to give my notice when I get back. I think I'm going to focus on being a writer and not a property manager trying to be a writer. I want to change that mindset. I want to change that label in my mind so that I'm actually living the life that I'm trying to live, rather than continuing to live in this someday world or environment that we all tend to do. All right, well, someday I'll do this, someday I'll get to this, one of these days I'm going to do this. I feel like just where we're at right now, where we've gotten to as far as our financial standing, and if we can get the house on the market and get it sold and cut back on some of our expenses and move in someplace else and liquidate the possessions that we have and get ourselves ready to make this journey to New Zealand, whether it be for a month or a year or 10 years. I'm ready to do it, and I'm ready to just fully embrace this role of writer speaker and not a property manager that's aspiring to be one of those things someday. So I feel really good about that right now. I mean, I really feel comfortable with it. And again, I've had to deal with some fears, some doubts over the last couple months about, all right, is this the best idea? Should I just stick this out? Should I make this work? Which I could do, and there would be no harm in it, really, as long as I forgive myself for it and embrace it. And that's the beauty of this free will universe that we live in. You can make whatever decision you want, and as long as you are okay with it and you find peace in that decision and no regrets, and feel that you have made the choice for a better life, regardless of what it is and what you had, the choices you had previously made, you're good, you're golden, you're not failing, you're winning. And that's where I am right now. So I'm sitting in front of the office here, 35 minutes left of the day, and then 2 days of work, and then we're gone for 9 days. And when I come back, I am anticipating, and it really depends on how the cruise goes. I may have a change of mind on the cruise. I may get there and get away and start relaxing and see some of these beautiful tropical island places that we're going to visit and have some experiences that fire up something different in me and alter my perspective of my movement forward. But it may just bolster and reinforce what I've just said, and I'm fine with either. But as of right now, I plan on going and coming back and giving my notice when I get back. And and putting the house on the market. I contacted an attorney we've worked with in the past about representing us. We have an appointment set up for the 31st, last day of the month, the Wednesday after we get back, to get our house listed and hopefully make some decent amount of money off it, enough for a nest egg to, some to settle some debts before we go, some for travel expenses, and some is basically the seed money to build this new future as we move forward. And I have said it the last couple recordings, even though it's been weeks in between, I feel good about where I'm at. I feel good about the options that I have. I feel good about the choices that I've made so far, and I feel good about the choices that I intend to make in the upcoming weeks and months. And I'm really excited about this really opening up for me. And it's there. It's this close. That book, that first book, that Joe Vitale book, is months away from being released, and that's going to be the spotlight, the initial spotlight that illuminates what I've been doing and what I intend to do, and hopefully creates this whole new avenue for me to pursue that will not only bring me satisfaction and fulfillment out of life, but will allow me to reach others and hopefully make an impact on them, and also provide me with financial cash flow that allows me to continue to do what I like doing, and that is living life to the most every day. So that's it. Until next time.